We're live.
Welcome. First story.
That would be mind-blowing.
Trending stories are taking over.
TSTO. Why does he get a bell for that?
Next story.
Everybody get down.
According to the sounds, I'm not doing so hot today.
TSTO.
TSTO thing.
TSTOMG.
TSTO.
That's crazy.
Story time. What is happening, people of the interwebs? It's Todd Frazier.
I'm Jake Brady.
And I'm Aragorn. All my friends know me as Chris Cody.
Yeah,
I'm here.
it's Chris Cody, and we are here live on the internet. You guys, things are happening. It's crazy. Stories are trending everywhere, but we are not.
Even in our own home.
Even in our own
Right.
homes, and we are following
here.
protocol. We are not in the studio. I'm showing you me. I'm by myself, and now
By
we're
yourself.
all together. I'm by myself, and then Jake's by himself, and then Chris is by himself, and then I'm with Chris, and then Jake's with Chris, and then I'm with Jake. But we're all three together. This is what is going on today, you guys. Hey, you guys, what's going on? What is happening? All the things. We did a test of this, if you didn't see the other day, to make sure that we could make this happen. And I'm kind of happy with how it works. You guys?
Cool.
You doing good? I mean,
Yeah.
Okay,
Doing
yeah.
good. Sorry. This is really interesting. It's a whole new thing.
So what are
I
you?
have
What are you doing over there, Jakey?
as far as like what does my day look like?
No, like what you're like tripping out because you've got comments now. You've got your own set
Yeah.
of stuff, like
Well, it's nuts because I have you guys here.
right.
I have my audio stuff that I have to pay attention to over here. I have the stories here, and I also have the live stream here, but it's a good like 20 seconds off.
Yeah,
for us.
and that's going to kill your
Right.
bandwidth. So don't watch the live stream at the same time. Just wait for the comments to come through the chat bot. Hey, if you are
Fine,
watching
fine.
this, if you're watching this and you're like, I'd really like to chat with these guys, then you should put us something in chat. Tiffany's here. Ed says Jake
Ed-
needs a haircut. You know what, Eddie? I don't think you're gonna have to talk to
I'm
him
so
about that.
over this. I'm personally attacked every single week. There's somebody coming into my home now.
Now they're in your home. Now, oh no, wait, Joe.
Coming
Let's,
into my home
no,
now.
let's not. Let's keep it civil.
No,
what do we do? Now,
Shotgun.
why did you guys bring weapons? What is going
Because
on?
don't know what's about
It's
to
a
happen these
pandemic.
days.
You-
Yeah, there's a pandemic outside
yes,
Right.
that we be prepared for.
there's a pandemic.
Hide your kids, hide your wives. We've heard that before, but get your guns, get your knives.
Hide
Is
your
now the
toilet
time.
paper.
Wow. Hey, Tiffany says she does haircuts. You see that? She's ready. Kyle, what's going on, Kyle? We are ready for the pandemic apocalypse. Penpocalypse, right? What do you call that?
Woo! The pen.
I think all the things. Hey, so something else. We are doing something. Greg's here. What's going on, Greg? Jakester here. Vicky's here. Vicky, oh my
Man.
goodness, how are you? It's so good to
See, this
see
is
your
crazy
texting.
because I feel like we have more people that are online now because it's later in the evening and because it's quarantine.
Yeah, you
time.
can't. I don't know which one's which. Who knows which one's which? But hey,
Yeah.
we've got a new feature today, and we are going to be doing a segment where we are going to take your phone calls. So if you are sitting there like, texting's fun, but I'd like to really get on the show, we've got a phone number here for you, 714-422-0441. Call that. We're connected to the switchboard, and we'll be able to talk to you live on the air. I'm going to bell
Just
that.
be
because it's pretty
entertaining.
awesome. Yeah, we will cut
Just be
you.
entertaining.
We will
There
cut you
are
so
tens of
fast.
people. There are tens of people watching this
Tens of
stream right now.
people.
And those tens of people are looking to us to entertain them in this time of crisis.
That's right.
So if you're going to call in, make sure you have something to say.
That's right. And Ed says that everybody's here to see Jake's hair. That's the only reason that they come.
Thanks,
I think
Ed.
that's- and Vicky, we miss you too. It's been way too long. But you know what? There's stories, and they're trending all over the place. And we're not even really going to touch what's happening with coronavirus because it's everywhere, and you're inundated with it. Royce Reynolds, what is happening, Royce? How you doing, buddy? This is a great time to be on. Joining everybody up, having a little live stream, talking about the trending stories that are taking over. You can call the show. But before we get to the call segment, we need to get into some of these trendy stories. And the first thing that we want to talk about is Mr. Bill Gates is doing something. Okay.
Watch out.
We've got our first call. It is Eddie Hamsey. Eddie.
All right, Ed Hamsey.
Hey, you know what? I'm
Ed
getting you on
Hamsey,
here.
you are live with TSTO. At Hamzy, you are live with
What?
TSTO. You must be entertaining. You must tell us what we want to know, and we're going to talk about Bill Gates right now stepping down from Microsoft. And
Jake,
Burker,
get a
how do you feel
haircut.
about it?
All he says is, Jake, get a
I want
haircut.
Jake to get a haircut. Jake's haircut hair is annoying me just because I don't have any.
I think, yeah, it's just jealousy, Eddie. I'm pretty
No,
sure that's
Eddie-
what it is.
Eddie,
What
come
do you-
cut it yourself,
Jake,
dog.
what Eddie? Okay, and Kyle's calling. Hey, Eddie, if Jake cuts
Okay,
his
bye.
hair, would you
Bye,
wear a
Jake, get
wig?
haircut. Bye.
Hey,
Yes.
Kyle, you are on the air on Trending Stories, taking over. What's going on?
Yes.
What is happening,
What is
buddy?
going on?
Dude, we're
What is happening, people being rose?
that's right. Hey, see, you got it down. I'm giving you a bell for that, Kyle. Hey, what do you think about Bill Gates leaving
Yes.
the Microsoft board?
Oh man, I don't know what to say, man. I mean, what? I think we need to talk about his like
Be
prior
entertaining.
commitment with
Tell us
Microsoft, and then his
what's
like his new
happening.
stuff, right? You need to talk about the transition.
Right. And the transition,
Right.
hopefully we can help him with his transition. But Kyle, I think you're an awesome dude. And if you guys need help with any video stuff around the world that we can't help you with, Kyle Venberg's your man. And hey,
Hey,
Minnesota Pride. All right, buddy. Hey, we're going to
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
So Kyle made a great point. We do need to talk about this transition. We need to talk about what's going on
We
with Bill
do.
Gates.
Kyle, we're going to take your lead and we're going to talk about the transition. Appreciate you, buddy.
You know what?
All
That
right.
sounds great.
I'll see you
All right.
tomorrow.
See you guys.
Bye.
All right.
All right,
Kyle.
so the transition. So Bill Gates is leaving the Microsoft board. He is out of here. He's like, you know what, guys? Peace out.
Last Friday. So he's already gone.
Yes, he's peaced out. He's left. So Jake, what do you think about this transition that he's decided to leave?
Okay, so this is interesting. We know that Bill
Yeah.
Gates hasn't been the CEO of Microsoft for a long time now. We know that Bill Gates has kind of just been, it's almost like what Steve Jobs did right before he passed, and he was still involved with Apple right before
Right.
Apple cut him
Right.
loose. And then before he came back to Apple, right before he passed away, he's kind of following the same path a little bit, right? But the thing that's really interesting to me about this is he's actually leaving both these massive companies that he's had such a huge hand in building in order to be able to dive deeper into his philanthropic endeavors as well as his global health endeavors. And that's one thing that's crazy is Bill Gates is the top shareholder for Microsoft still with 1.36% of shares. And that's nuts to me that
Right.
that is the top percent of shareholders.
You know what? I'm belling that because I was reading that too, and I'm like, that's the highest shareholder?
Right.
What? And he's got
Well, that's-
stupid money.
Diversification.
You know what?
That's how you make money in the stock market.
That's
is
how
if
you-
diversify.
That's right. And you don't invest when it's what's happening right now in the stock market. But Bill Gates is leaving Microsoft. He's going to his philanthropic adventures. And I think that ties to what we reported a couple of weeks back about Bill being involved in a hydrogen powered boat. Now,
Right.
there's some mystery about that. So this hydrogen powered boat, the $644 million hydrogen. Now, Jake, did you see they did the math for us? We were talking back and forth about pounds
Yes.
and euros, and they
It's
just
about
did.
740.
Well, this article says 644 million. So whatever it
Okay.
is,
Well,
I
probably
just-
the whole
I had
coronavirus
woken
making
up.
it cheaper, right?
yes, the coronavirus makes it cheaper. But
I have woken up in a cold sweat multiple mornings thinking about that conversation, knowing that that's a pound sign and not a euro.
yes,
And I looked it up, and it comes roughly towards $700,000. So
yeah. Well, okay. So you know what? You got close, but you weren't
We're
right.
both right.
But here's the deal. So this story that we got of a super yacht that was hydrogen powered is actually true. However, Bill Gates sounds like he's commissioning this. It's based on his
Well, that's what
philanthropic stuff, right?
Right, that's what the story
actually
was
what it is.
originally.
Yeah.
that's what the story was originally. What we had broadcasted,
Yes.
what we had broke as TSTO was that Bill Gates was actually the one commissioning this thing to be built. But this story right here is really interesting coming from Forbes because it's saying that both Bill Gates and the company responsible for building this super yacht from Sino Yacht Architecture and Design, they both say that Bill Gates has nothing to do with the commissioning of this yacht.
Yeah.
So that's really confusing to me because if Bill Gates is stepping down to look into alternative energy sources and global health, why wouldn't he be commissioning something like this? Do you think they're trying to keep it under wraps? Do you think they were trying to keep people from knowing Bill Gates was going to be leaving?
See,
Well,
I
I mean,
wonder. I mean, I wonder. So Dean makes a point here. Dean in the chat, he says Bill Gates is too far removed from technology that he has nothing to give anymore. I think that's probably true. But with this hydrogen-powered super yacht, it was convenient for the company that made the super yacht for this story to break. And it does make sense that Bill would be involved. So either it is an attempt.
That could be just financial.
It could be just financial. It could be saying, hey, that's a good idea. I'll be behind helping with that. But either way, a hydrogen-powered super yacht, that's going to change a lot of industries. However, every industry is affected by what's going on with coronavirus right now. So I don't know ultimately what that's gonna do. But yeah, so he's left.
Side note.
He's left Microsoft. What's your side note?
He's gone. The side note is the Dow is down 3,000 points today.
It was up 300 at lunch.
It up 300
down?
From 3,000 this morning when it had it hit its lowest point since 87.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
This morning.
It's
super crazy.
It's crazy. But in the next story, we're going to talk about somebody else who's leaving. You're not going to miss this story.
That's true.
Somebody else is leaving. You guys, Tom Brady. Tom Brady is leaving the Patriots. He's leaving the Patriots. He's a lifelong Patriot. He's their guy. He's the one that we're like, hey, who's going to win? It's going to be the Patriots because they have Tom Brady. Yet,
it's equal to Rome. It's equal to Witten leaving Dallas. I will say that.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's equal. Ed, I think you've got something to say probably about Tom Brady leaving. But Tom Brady is leaving the Patriots. He is now going to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, which is going to be super weird to see Tom Brady in anything but a Patriots uniform. I think so. Here's my take on all this.
It's gonna feel like
if he felt like he was dealt wrong, of course he's gonna become a Buccaneer. I mean, you got to go for it. You got to make a living somehow, right, Brady? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, you got to do something somehow. And if you're burned of being a Patriot because Belichick didn't want to pay you the money, then you're gonna go be a Buccaneer and you're gonna pillage and plunder all of the Patriots' winnings. That's gonna be fantastic. Yeah. He's gonna pillage it. Look at that. You guys are set up for the Buccaneers story. But Tom Brady leaves. So here's the thing about this that I found interesting is the league's been talking about, people in the league say Tom Brady's not getting what he's worth. He's not getting paid what he's worth. And we all know Tom Brady is fantastic. Love him or hate him, he's fantastic. Ed says, meh, who cares? But I'm going to be curious to watch what happens to the Buccaneers because they have reportedly paid him $30 million per season.
$30 million a year.
And how long's the contract? Do we know?
I want to say it's only a couple years.
Yeah, I would believe it's short. I could dig back through this, but I don't want to waste time. Yeah.
So the thing that I find really interesting about this too is that it's so similar to when LeBron James left the Heat and went back to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yes.
Because now there are so many players that are hitting up Tampa Bay saying, we want to play for you too.
Yeah, it says right here in this article that there are players expressing interest in joining Tom Brady with the Buccaneers. I mean, think about that. You have an opportunity to play with the Super Bowl quarterback, and they're just like calling like, hey, Tampa Bay, I'd love to come play with you and Tom Brady. I mean, think about the people he could attract.
When in Tampa Bay's history as an organization has any player on the top tier of players called and been like, we want to play for you?
Well, and
when does that ever happen?
That's a good question. And will the likes of Antonio Brown head down to Tampa Bay and just pull up to training camp and be like, hey, Tom, throw me some balls? Like
I don't know, man. I don't know. All I know is that Des Bryant wants to come back to the Dallas, baby.
Des Bryant. But the other thing about Tom Brady, it doesn't matter how he does in Tampa Bay, and I think that's probably the better story here is that Tom Brady has launched a Hollywood production company.
Right.
Now he launched this before he signed with the Buccaneers. He's like, now what business?
He announced the launch.
Right. He announced
before
the launch. What business is Tom Brady doing in Hollywood, other than, I guess supermodel wise, maybe that has something to do with it.
He was on a Super Bowl Hulu commercial. What I'm interested in, Chris, what do you think about this? Like, because this is branching two parts of like American life into one segment that is so weird. Like Tom Brady running a production company. It's almost like Justin Bieber or Macaulay Culkin running a production company.
Well,
wait, but both of those guys are in entertainment.
Right.
Oh, sorry.
This seems like totally left field to have like a pro footballer go in and try and do a whole production company. Like, what does he know about production? But then again, we're not with him off season, right? Who knows? Maybe he's made some stuff.
He's just working out off season. He doesn't do anything but work out. I've seen the documentary.
But his wife is a goddess. Maybe she was the one that was like used her siren song and said, "Hey, let's get this whole thing onto the on the television."
Hey, I got to stop this right now. EJ, you win the comment contest if we were having one. Because he says Tom Brady's a snowbird, and when they get old, they move to Florida. That, EJ, you win.
Tiffany, tell me to stop touching my face.
Yeah, she says, stop touching your face, Jake. It's not good. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your face. He's quarantined. He can touch. Wait, no. Yeah, Tom Brady's left. He has left the building. He's going to Florida because he's a snowbird. EJ, 100% agree. Dean says Brady won't run the company. He's just the front man with the money. Totally agree. It's all publicity. Totally. It's all just the name of Tom Brady is going to get people in the door that wouldn't otherwise even think about it.
Though? I mean, unless they're going to be like producing things related to the sport, maybe, or doing something like that. But like, why would Tom Brady's name bring anything to like Hollywood production?
Because for the simple fact of, one, the people he knows, two, his wife's a supermodel, and three, he's got the money to just like run it, right?
True. Money is everything.
I mean, Kobe did a similar thing, rest in peace, right? Yeah. Kobe was involved in. Well, he didn't do a production company per se, but he was involved in multiple documentaries as a producer. Like if you actually go on Kobe's Instagram now, right, you can go see that like he in his Instagram bio it said like basketball player, yada yada yada, but like producer was one of the things that he had up in his bio as like what he would categorize himself as, right? Yeah. And I think that goes to show that it's a lot similar to anything in the sports industry. If you have a icon, right? If you have a legend that's deciding, hey, I want to do something new, they're going to bring that crowd over with them. Yeah. It's like Billie Eilish working for the 007 thing, like totally writing that theme song.
Now, the thing you think about in this is the potential of sports documentaries. Like you think about the stuff that he could put together for Netflix and Amazon, and if he gets inside these, like ESPN's 30 for 30, like those are really great. You got somebody in the sports world that is an icon that says, hey, let's do a sports documentary, or let's do like this new movie coming out with Ben Affleck where it's a basketball movie. Like those kind of things. He could get way into the sports genre of film. And I think that could be interesting. That could be interesting. But that is neither here nor there because we don't know what's going to happen with him in Tampa Bay. And like EJ said, he might just get there and then get some white pants and drive around in a Cadillac because, that's...
he might seriously be like the backup quarterback. I could see something. No. I could see something happening where it was like, who said it right here? EJ in the chat also said he's like Favre 2.0.
Yeah,
which is really
2.0.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that Aaron Rodgers studied under Favre for God knows how long. And I would say Aaron Rodgers is probably the elite quarterback in the league. Sorry, people that like Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers is the guy that, from in my mind,
standpoint,
you don't want to bet against him.
Yeah, true.
Because the dude will run circles around you every single day. And if Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay and he is a quarterback for even just 75% of the snaps ahead of a younger quarterback, they're going to learn so much from him, including how to cheat.
Yeah, that is totally true. They're going to learn how to cheat, but I wonder if the warm weather is going to make that inflating, deflating, whatever be a problem. But the next story that we're going to talk about has to do with people who are going to have to fix some stuff, and they do some interesting things how they fix it. They really do.
Right. This is perfect. I mean, that's how I fix things.
That's right. This is how Chris fixes things, guys. NASA has fixed the Mars lander, but the way that they did this, they fixed the Mars lander by telling it to hit itself with a shovel.
Right?
So basically, the way I imagine this is everybody's sitting in NASA and they're like, what do we do? What do we do? It's stuck in the clay. How do we get it out? And then all of a sudden there's one guy in the background that's like Gus Jiggins from that SNL sketch with Will Ferrell, right?
G-I-G-G-E-N-S. Gus Jiggins.
You go over to Old Mo here, and then you get down. And he's just like, well, back in my day, we would fix certain things like this by hitting it with a shovel. And everybody's like, oh, wait a minute.
Your glasses aren't working.
That's a great idea. We should ask it to hit it with a shovel. And then he's like, yeah, hit it with a shovel. And then it's like, yeah, we should hit it with a shovel. And so they hit it with a shovel.
It's like, I can't believe that this is actually a real thing. Like, I mean, Chris, I think you're joking when you say you fixing with a shovel, but I fixing by hitting them all the time. I didn't know that was actually like an approved method.
There was a period of time where my air conditioning, I drive a 99 Chevy Tahoe.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
There was a period of time where my air conditioning was not working. Like the fan just would not blow. And it was in the middle of the summer and I was sweating in my car, sticking to the leather, you know, and I got really mad one day and just hit the dash and it started blowing again.
There it went.
So now it's a massive crack across my dash from consecutively hitting my dash to get the AC to start working in the summer of 17.
So that the question is, how long before the NASA Land Rover Mars lander has a crack across its dash? That's what we're wondering.
Well,
so here,
Or even worse, this could spark the artificial intelligence
it's gonna
resistance against mankind, because we told it to hit itself on the shovel and had no choice but to comply, or otherwise its human overlords would do something bad to it.
I think you're right, Chris. I think because at what point will it just be like it's going to fight back? So here's a video of
It's
it.
got a shovel.
What was it?
Right.
Before, after, before, after. It's like, I don't understand. NASA's telling things to hit themselves with shovels. It's just, oh my gosh.
EJ wins the comment section again. He said it's not rocket science. Just hit it with a shovel.
That's right. I feel like if the Apollo 13 guys had shovels, like they would have been just hitting all the stuff and it would have been fine.
It just goes to say common sense is much higher than rocket science, right?
Yes.
You got to learn the street smarts before you learn the book smarts.
You know what? That's exactly what that is.
You deserve that bell. I say that as the guy that gets shorted bells.
Yeah, you're the guy that gets shorted bells. You're saying, you know what, Chris, you deserve that bell.
I deserve that bell. But I will say there's two interesting things. Number one, I forgot it. Number two is that when it comes to stuff about this little Mars probe story, it is really interesting when you start digging into it and getting to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
They were concerned about what kind, like, are they going to have a crack in their dash? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, is this whole thing? There's wires and stuff outside that are essential to the function of this little probe robot.
Yeah, you think about all the stuff involved that they could hit.
Right. So actually, there's a point in this article. It's right under the push shovel, I believe. Okay. If you scroll down, I'm not sure where it is, but when I was reading
a short
earlier,
story.
Oh yeah, it risks damaging fragile power and communication lines attached nearby.
So because of that, the NASA technicians actually went through simulations on hitting this robot with a shovel.
Wow.
They simulated it? Yeah, they had to. I mean, that's.
I want to see that.
Where's that video?
Where's Matt Damon? It's my question, because
I got a sword here. This is what
if Matt Damon's character was real, right?
Hold it.
If Matt Damon's character was real as in The Martian,
smash it. Nope, that's not right. Try it again. Maybe this angle, and there we go.
No,
it's gonna work.
That's what they did, though, because they needed to figure out that it was going to make sense and it was actually going to work and it was going to free this robot.
Yep.
The reason why the robot got stuck is because people think of Mars as this big sand planet, right? Like Tatooine in Star Wars. Right. Not the case, right? Apparently, it's a very clay-like substance, actually more so than Earth. So as this drill, they call it the mole of Mars, is what this little probe robot is nicknamed.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to get it to go into the center of the Earth to sense the
center of Mars.
To sense the fluctuation in temperature from different layers of the Mars crust, right? Essentially, like how we know that the mantle on the inside of the Earth is much, much hotter than the actual crust of the Earth. So they're trying to do that same research.
Yeah.
eventually they get to the point where this Mars rover, Mars probe, whatever, gets so stuck in this clumpy clay-like dirt that it can't move, and they were unprepared. So they go, we got to release it with a shovel.
Yep.
Did tests on how to release it with a shovel,
Yep.
and then release it with a shovel. It's the most rocket science, non-rocket science way of releasing something.
Well, and Dean says, so it's a scientific shovel.
It's a tactical shovel.
That's right. So I think,
And we could make fun of them all day for that, but when you really think about it, Jake, I think you're hitting on it, is that it is amazing that, I mean, it's not like this thing is next door, right? This thing is thousands upon thousands
it's
of light years
on
away.
Mars, yes.
And,
Right. No,
and
Matt Damon's not on Mars for us right now.
well, okay.
Matt
Have you
Damon?
seen The Martian?
Yeah, you haven't seen that movie, Chris?
No, the last Mars movie I saw, I think, was Total Recall from like 90s.
Yeah, it's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. But your point, yeah, your point though is, yeah, it's so far away, yet they're able to figure out how to test it here and then say, hey, hit it, and it works, and it fixed it. But that, Chris, your point is taking us to our next story that we're going to talk about. Will it fight back, and how do we stay safe when the robots come after us?
Right.
Because the next
There's
story,
robots, I don't know. What are we talking about here?
so the next story, the government has commissioned a doomsday plan for cyber war, guys. A doomsday plan for cyber war. The government report published on Wednesday outlines a cyber war doomsday plan and recommends Washington make sweeping changes to address other cybersecurity challenges facing the country. You guys, cyber war is not, that's never going away. With all,
it's not just a video game.
No, it's not just a video
game.
Awesome.
No.
But it is really interesting that the way that the government is starting to lean into preventing this.
Yeah.
If you scroll down a little bit in this story, it's the third paragraph underneath the graphic. It says the idea with nuclear deterrence is you've either deterred it or you haven't.
Yeah.
And that's crazy, because now they're starting to equate cyber war to nuclear conflict.
Well, because you think
across
of
the globe.
Everything that's connected, especially with what's going on right now with society and the coronavirus, there is a fear about physical safety. There is a fear about the stores. And I was talking the other day with somebody, it might have even been Tammy, to say, well, when is the cyber stuff going to happen? And I said, well, right now, money isn't like that important. So if they break in and they get your Social Security and they take your ID, but there's no cure for coronavirus, it doesn't matter. But this is going to end at some point, and the people that are cyber hackers are not stopping right now. They're not on. They're quarantined. They're working harder.
If you can't get, yes,
right?
Bell yourself.
Yes,
Bell yourself.
Hey, I'll take that.
Because that's the thing. If you can't get this right now, which everyone be jealous of me,
Jake.
Right?
Hey, how much you want to sell it for today?
I'm like the girl in American Pie.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, ew.
If you can't get that for $3 on Amazon, cyber hackers are going to be going in and stealing the stuff out of your bank account. It's why people are saying that you need to stock up on shells, right? For your, I'm not going to pull it out again. I don't want to get flagged by the NSA. But like, that's the thing is people are going to get to the point where if this goes further than we expect it to, right now we're expecting anywhere from a month to 3 months with this whole coronavirus thing. If this goes any further than we expect it to, bedlam is going to ensue. I mean, people are already panicking when they go to the stores.
Yep.
Right. Next thing you know, people are going to go by any means in order to make sure that they can act outside of martial law once it's enacted in order to be able to get whatever it is they need to survive. It almost becomes like a doomsday state, which in my mind sounds really, really fun.
In a movie setting. It sounds fun in a movie setting. Yeah.
Right. When a gun... Yeah. See, this is why I'm all right. If you guys have joined the TSTO cult, right? This is why I'm asking.
No, guys, no.
You guys to raise me up as a kingpin in this next level of society that we're about to head into.
Okay,
because I will protect you.
Let's get rid of
as long as I
Jake,
can.
Keep the cult talk to your private Twitch streams at midnight. But
I'll talk to the chat about it right now.
Yeah, no. So here's the thing about this that is really kind of a big deal. Not kind of big. It's actually a big deal. Is that this is something that's nation to nation, like it's international. Yes, individuals are hacking our Social Security stuff. Yeah, Ed, what did it say? Jake can use his hair as toilet paper.
His hair is toilet paper.
That's right.
You know what?
He's all set.
Rinse, repeat.
Really quick side note story about Ed. There was a time, and this is Ed, your old neighbor, right?
Oh yeah, this is Eddie.
Okay. So Todd ends up calling me the night before the iPhone 4S is released.
Oh,
right?
that's
Way
right.
back in the day.
Way back in the day.
And you're like, hey, you want to go with me and Eddie to go wait in line and get the new iPhones? And I was like, why would I want to do that? I'm not getting a new iPhone. So I decided to go anyway. Okay, so we wait in this monstrous line to get inside. And at one point, it's so early in the morning, the mall just opened. We're walking around and they start dressing the mannequins in Forever 21.
Yeah.
All those female mannequins. So there's like naked female mannequins, none of which have wigs on.
And you're at this point, you're how old? Are you 16?
I don't even know. No, I'm not 16 at all. I mean, this is like
Before high school.
Before I got to high school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm be like 12 or 13, and we're walking around, and Eddie's like, "Yeah, just how I like my women, bald, naked."
Yeah, me and Eddie were really good influences on a junior hire going to the mall at 5 a.m. to get an iPhone.
Doing parties all day long. Man, if we were quarantined together with Eddie right now,
Eddie,
the chain would come.
I'll tell you what, that would be ridiculous. But the cybersecurity thing is nuts. And speaking of phones, like that's how it gets crazy. Like you start going down this path, and then all of a sudden somebody's hacked your phone, and you're Jeff Bezos, and they're doing all kinds of weird stuff inside of your technology.
You know, I feel really, really bad. I had to say goodbye to Vladimir, the guy that was using my Spotify in Russia.
Oh, did you kick him out? What happened?
I had to change my password yesterday because Vladimir decided to send it to a couple of his friends on some online forum. So then I was getting some in like Indonesia and then others in the United States. And then my daily mix was screwed up. And I was like, this is not okay. And I know the most valuable thing about Spotify is at the end of the year when you get your Spotify wrap and it shows you everything that you've listened to.
Yeah.
And I was so frustrated because I was like, wait a minute, this isn't going to keep consistent with like the music that I've been listening to since like sophomore year of high school.
Yep.
I need to get rid of these fools. So Vladimir, if you're listening, I'm sorry I had to do it to you and your friends, but it's my Spotify. I paid for it.
But you can't get by with a daily mix of German EDM. Like that just doesn't.
It was awful, dude. The last thing that he played was like some kind of like, it's like fireside chat. And I'm expecting to hear like Roosevelt on the other DR, and no, it's some country stuff. No fireside chat there.
That's not real fireside chat.
What if Donald Trump had a podcast and he called it New Fireside Chats?
Oh, the new fireside, the great fireside chats. Make fireside chats great again.
Great again. We should sell this.
Well, you work on that. You put it together, put a package together, and we'll send it out. We didn't.
All right, guys, it's been a great stream. I'm going to sign off. I have work to do.
But in the next story, so the cybersecurity is real. It is happening. But there's another reason to think about cybersecurity because Elon, he's getting his sticky fingers all over a few extra things.
Yeah.
So Elon Musk, SpaceX, they are sending up satellites, and they are doing it at a rate that is, it's disrupting the skies. Night sky will never be the same because Elon Musk's plan for worldwide internet has sent bright artificial light streaking through the dark. So did you guys read this article yet?
I read so little of it. I need you to fill me in.
Yeah, so here's the deal. So Elon Musk and Starlink, which is a part of SpaceX, which is a privately held company, they've been sending up satellites because their goal is they're trying to make sure that they can get internet across the world with, like, we're talking no cell towers kind of thing.
Right.
Like, this is something where it's internet everywhere. And so they've been doing this slowly, like 60 satellites at a time, which is crazy. That's a ton of satellites going in the air. But what they've been doing, so the article starts off with a guy telling a story about, there's this guy in Ohio and he wanted to build a shed 2 feet higher than was recommended or than was allowed by the law. But he had to tell the neighbors.
When a mommy and a daddy, when they want to build a shed, they have to want to build a shed.
They really want to build that shed. That's right.
Yeah. You got to take a hammer and nail and build that shed.
But I think anyone considering having children should build a shed.
Yeah.
You need that shed about age 3 or 4.
Chris, you don't have to lean forward so far. We can hear you.
I'm into this.
See, Hey, Dean says, welcome to Skynet. I think you're kind of right. That's where I think this is going. So
check it out later in the thing. It says before Starlink, there was about 200 objects in orbit.
Yep.
Since then, they've already added 240 themselves. Like they've already more than doubled what's already in the orbit. And they're even brighter than the 99% of the existing objects in Earth
they're so
orbit.
reflective. And that's the thing. Like in the article, it talks about how they didn't realize it was going to be this reflective. Is that going to be disrupting?
Well, it's disrupting.
We'll be able to see it with our own naked eye.
It says you can see them. You can see them moving, which is one problem. But the bigger problem is with like high-powered telescopes, where they're doing actual science discovery, like in the sky, like galaxy. Right. The reflection is messing with the images. And so, like it says in here, a lot of these satellites are photobombing telescopes and giving partial reflections. So they're just messing with the whole thing. So the problem is when Elon gets all of his satellites up there, which who knows how many they're going to be, like
millions.
It's going to cover the sky in satellites. Which
have you seen the dude's battery farms?
Yo, yeah, everywhere,
dude. There's millions of those things, and like that's the thing that scares me is this guy has no fear of anything. He's the guy that's saying coronavirus not real, right? Like this is all just like a big fake thing. Which I mean, I do like to err on the side of being like this coronavirus is probably pushed a little bit over the top. Don't really need this whole martial law stuff going on. Yeah. But at the same time, like it's been very real in the sense of like we talked about before. If you think about it and if you manifest it and you talk about it to people, that spreads that fear and that information. Inevitably you're making it more powerful. You're creating the thing that you're in fear of just because of the fact that you're thinking it out loud.
Yep.
You're manifesting it yourself, right? And if Elon Musk keeps doing this thing for himself, think about what he's going to be manifesting.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the thing about this.
It's nuts.
Elon Musk, I don't know what else he's been doing that we don't know about. But it says here in the article, in trying to be fair to everyone, it says right here, SpaceX is actively working with leading astronomy groups from around the world to make sure their work isn't affected, says the company's spokesperson, James Gleason. Now, here's the deal. To that end, one satellite in a batch of 60 launched in early January with experimental coding that might make it less reflective. Engineers won't know how well it worked until the satellite reaches its final orbit. So they're doing things, right? I'm going to put up quotes here. They're doing things to mitigate the issues that could come. However, they have so many satellites in the sky. What is that? What can the power that can be harnessed through that? And then go back to the Skynet idea. What if the Mars rover that hit itself with a shovel decides that it's going to communicate through the satellites, and then we're all toast?
Right.
Like that's
and
the
Dean
real
says
deal.
we got to tell. Dean says that robot's just going to have been programmed to say, "Stop hitting yourself." Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Which I said that's a good bit. I like that bit.
Yeah, that's a good bit. That's a good bit.
But no, so correct me if I'm wrong. Did you say that Elon Musk and everybody at his whole organization is trying to remove themselves from other space exploration?
Well, so what they're talking about is they're talking about selling off this star. What is it called? Starnet. Starlink. Yeah, they're talking about selling it off because everything else, the SpaceX is private. They're talking about selling off Starlink. I don't know who or what. Like, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah,
because of the fact that like Elon Musk, he really did start this whole like Starlink enterprise thing because of the fact that NASA wouldn't get on board with him sending a rocket to Mars.
Right.
And so he said, fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like this guy. Okay. He's cool. I like him a lot.
Right.
He's doing a lot of really cool things in the scientific community that I don't think a lot of people would have put time and energy into creating.
True.
Right?
He's the first and the premier scientific entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yes.
But he's starting to,
and it's well.
I was just saying, it's some of the stuff like just throwing those satellites up there. Who knows what kind of power that wields? In some ways, I agree with you, Jake. Like I like him. I think that gusto to go do it. It's like, no, we need these things, and I'm just gonna go do it. I'm not gonna wait for anybody. But at the same time, it's almost like starting his own like super villain, origin story kind of thing, like a Lex Luthor or Norman Osborn or something like that, who does all these things, gets all his power, and all of a sudden like, oh, now I'm the top dog now.
So here's this quote right here.
And
here's the quote right here. We can't wait for the regulations for new rules to be drafted for the comment periods. We have to work with the companies right now to try and convince them of the value of making their satellites as faint as possible. They can't wait for regulations. They got to get it taken care of. Now, on both sides of it, they got to get it taken care of. This just speaks to say what's happening in the sky that we don't know about other than this. Like, this is a story that's out. What else is Elon or you think about China, or you think about Iran, any of these countries that could be doing who knows what. Forget nuclear. I think, like, I'm wondering if this means, like, nuclear is not even as big a deal now as space exploration, which is why the Space Force idea may actually be a good idea, right? I don't know. I think this is the developing story for sure.
Right.
Well, it's really interesting because of the fact that, like, this is going to start branching off into realms of these people that have money and have ability are going to be able to start saying government doesn't matter to me. Right. Or whatever laws are necessary in order for me to be able to practice this business is not necessary for me to be able to do what I want to do. Yeah. Which, if you have somebody with the mind like Elon Musk, that's going to be really, really dangerous down the road, especially if you get it into the hands of, like Chris said, somebody like a Lex Luthor or somebody like a Harry Osborn, right? Like, this is going to be something where people are going to freak out and try to create their own perfect society based on their own means, but in actuality they're criminals. Yeah. You know, so, like, are we gonna let that happen?
Right. Well, so Dean right here. Oh, wow. I think I can share this. So Dean got this from Wikipedia. As of March 18th, 2020, SpaceX has launched 362 Starlink satellites. They plan to launch 60 more per Falcon 9 flight, with launches as often as every 2 weeks. Now, I think that already happened.
Falcon 9s have been going up like at least twice a month.
Right. And in total, nearly 12,000 satellites are planned to be deployed, with a possible later extension of 42,000. Like, wow. You know what? It's only a matter of time before the sky gets crowded, and then who knows who's going to own that property. Like, that's the only place left.
I just hope that the next thing he creates is a Wall-E.
Yeah, come on, a really nice space garbage robot.
I mean, in that movie, you see them leave and they hit all that debris in space. Like, I think if you look at the fine print on those satellites, it probably says Starlink on it, or
it probably does.
SpaceX in general.
But the next story that we're talking about has somebody that, if Elon Musk didn't have all the money he had, he would definitely, I think, do something like this with sanitizer.
I hope so.
So this next story has to do, it's Corona related. So I guess we said we weren't going to talk Corona, but it's a little Corona related. This guy right here, a man with 17,700 bottles of hand sanitizer just donated them. And I read that title. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. What a nice guy. What a guy that's looking out for all these people that don't have hand sanitizer. And then you read the bottom line. Tennessee man. Yeah. What?
What you miss is he's from Tennessee. You can't expect anything good to come out of Tennessee.
So a man from Tennessee had planned to sell his stockpile at marked up prices online. Now he's under investigation for price gouging. This dude wasn't being nice. This dude found an opportunity where it's like, I'm going to buy a bunch of sanitizer, and it's this picture of him with all these Clorox wipes and big bottles of hand sanitizer, and like, this guy, he found an opportunity. He's like, I'm gonna get these people. And the part I love about this is he got caught. He got caught with the stuff, and he's getting ready to sell it and mark up all the prices online. And then he got prosecuted, and he's like, wait, no. I was just kidding. I'm just giving it away.
Right. I didn't read this story at all. So that is so
It's
funny.
Hilarious, right?
Man, this is literally like the biggest, oh no. Like,
yep.
Moment, you know. And now he's trying to right a wrong, and guess what? You can't, brother.
No.
You know what though? I mean, what he was saying. I mean, this is his quotes, right? Who knows after? But he's like, I've been buying and selling things for 10 years now. There's been hot product after hot product, but the thing is, there's always another one on the shelf. When we did this trip, I had no idea that these stores wouldn't be getting replenished. And it's funny because he goes down a little bit more, and he's like, what he said is shared with the Times. He said your behavior is probably going to end up with someone killing you and your wife and your children. It's like, wow, like that's the kind of hate he was getting from it.
But that's why you got to be stocked up,
right?
But
he's like it was never my intention to keep necessary medical supplies out of the hands of people who needed them. He's like, that's not who I am as a person. And he's like, that's what I've been told for the last 48 hours, how much that person I am. And I'm like, I think he really hit like a moment of like, whoa, like I unintentionally became the villain, and that's not who I'm trying to be. That's why I was like,
well, it's way too convenient though for it to be like, oh no, officer, I didn't know that everybody was going to need hand sanitizer. I didn't know that.
Time is a fickle thing.
I think
he knew everybody needed it. That's why he got it.
But
I would imagine, because this whole situation we're in right now is unique. Something like this has never happened this big.
Well, yeah, except he bought 17,000, Chris. It isn't like he bought 200. He bought 17,000 bottles of hand sanitizer, and it's not just hand sanitizer. He's got other stuff in there. He's probably got 100,000 rolls of toilet paper somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be hard pressed to believe that there wasn't malintent with this. And malintent is an interesting word. Take it as you will. But like, seriously, if you see, maybe he's just a savvy, entrepreneurial-minded person like myself.
Yeah.
No, but like, what if he seriously was like, I see this as a huge like opportunity to cash in on some people that like are in need of a product, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy could have totally been doing that with a genius mentality at first, and then all of a sudden this thing blew up underneath his nose.
Yeah,
right? And he's trying to right a wrong that he didn't even know he was making in the first place.
Yeah, but don't you think after you buy the 1,000th bottle, you think, oh, maybe I should stop?
Yeah.
Well,
that's probably true.
Let's be honest though. How many of the big companies do this every day? We don't bat an eyelash because that's just inflation. Oh, prices are just going up. Okay.
I feel like
I mean, I don't know how much he's selling these things for. Like, was it like $30 for a bottle of hand sanitizer, or was he like, it usually costs $3 and I'm selling it for $4?
Well, but Chris, here's the thing: if it was something that was reasonable, he wouldn't be being prosecuted. Like,
right.
The fact that he's actually being prosecuted means they found enough bad things that they said, no, this is not good.
Right. Well, who is the one that's prosecuting him? Is it
Tennessee?
Just so it's like this guy v. Tennessee.
It's the Tennessee Attorney General
versus the state.
Yep.
Like, so is this guy versus the state? That's crazy,
dude. And to get to that level, they've got some real evidence. So if this guy was Elon Musk, I would definitely not trust the satellites. That's for sure.
True. I mean, but isn't it already illegal to sell like name brand products at above market value?
Well, I think it's a range. Like if you're bumped up by like 10% because you're a wholesaler, and then that's fine. But if you're doing it like 200 times or something like that, which is probably what he was doing to get caught, like he had to have them listed at like 2 to 3 to 4 times what the actual cost was, and then that's technically price gouging. So this guy, not good at all. But the next story is it's interesting because it's almost like karma for one Saudi prince that took a shot at Jeff Bezos.
Could you imagine if this story came from the guy that instead of Jeff Bezos, he was trying to rob Bill Gates?
That would be funny.
Of the yacht.
Yeah. So this story, the Saudi prince is at it again. He's kind of getting paid back for. We talked a while back about the Saudi prince hacking Jeff Bezos' phone through a WhatsApp message, and now the Saudi prince has a sinking feeling because his $79 million super yacht capsizes and partially sinks while docked in Greece. Did you come up with that yourself, the sinking feeling? I just did it right now while I was talking.
That's awesome.
Yes, I'm going to, bell, clap.
That's great. You know what? Right now, I'm going to look into this camera because I can't look into the fancy ones. I'm going to say, Netflix, You want a 50-minute to 70-minute stand-up special? That's your guy.
That's your
That's
guy.
your guy.
That's, you know what,
Right.
Netflix, I agree with him. No, but seriously, this guy, the Saudi prince's yacht, this picture is epic. It's just like laying on its side, and like the radio tower is up against another yacht. Like
Scroll down
this
the
is so
picture of his face.
That's
His
incredible.
face is like, I feel like that's the face he made when he saw his yacht.
It's like he got punked. And it's
He's
like
like,
Bezos is behind with
Okay.
Ashton, and he's like,
Yeah, okay,
get his
guys,
face, get his face.
Ashton Kutcher comes out. You just got punked.
Oh man, the Saudi prince got punked. That is the best byline of any story I think we've ever done.
And
What?
like why it sank?
So, the luxury liner was at a repair yard right here. So here's the story. Luxury liner was at a repair yard, and the Megatechnica shipyard in Parma, Athens, when it was turned at a 45-degree angle, becoming partially submerged in the water. So it was user error, which is the best part, which means Bezos got a hold of those technicians, I think, and he's like, hey, I'm going to hack you. You hacked my phone, I'm going to hack your yacht.
That's right.
Hack your boat.
So yeah, in other words, the moral of this story is you don't mess with Jeff Bezos. You do
That's right.
you leave Jeff Bezos and his WhatsApp alone. You do not mess with that guy.
There were so many modifications made to this thing. This guy really tried to get out like low-level pimps in LA trying to trick out their Christ, you know?
Did he have curb feelers and wide rims? Oh, dude, like that. This is too funny. But it's not hydrogen powered, so Bill wins. Bill Gates wins.
It's
Gates
not.
wins.
And you know,
Right.
that's the one thing that when I was like, oh, I forgot. I totally remembered it again when we were talking about the NASA story.
Oh yeah.
Hydrogen has been a fuel source for NASA to reach the moon and further since the 70s, which is really interesting.
I didn't know
because
that.
I just found that out today too. We made it to the moon in 69.
Right.
So that means we used jet fuel to make it to the moon.
Ah.
Next year, we figured out how to make it to the moon without using fuel and using hydrogen instead.
Oh, that's fascinating. So
Crazy. Right.
So that's what needs to happen. Is everything needs to be hydrogen powered from now on.
There you
The
go.
difference is that the hydrogen power in the yacht, right, is taking hydrogen and pumping it into oxygen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as well as the water that they have on board, they already have both there. So it circulates using that. They pump in a bunch of hydrogen. They're able to use the heightened hydrogen to create a chemical reaction, creating energy, right?
Right.
When we're doing that with the space program, it wasn't energy like electricity. It was jet fuel. It was essentially what we used with the hydrogen bomb. It was that same amount of force to get us off the ground and into space, and that's very different than turning it into electrical energy.
Yeah, well, either way, if the Saudi prince had been forward thinking and had a hydrogen powered boat, this sinking wouldn't be a problem because he just used it for power.
Maybe
That's
a
all.
giant battery sitting in the middle of the water. Which, hey, you know what? If you kids want to try a fun experiment, go home and try sitting in the bathtub and put a toaster in it.
No. Do not listen to that. That is a bad idea. All right, guys, you know what? That's it. The trending stories, they're still taking over. We're going to talk about them. We'll be back next week. Make sure that you're here. I'm Todd Frazier.
I'm Jake Frazier.
I'm Chris Cody.
And we will be here. Make sure you go check out TSTOshow.com. Follow us here. Share with your friends. Tell your mom, because if you don't, Jake's going to.
I'm going to tell your mom, and also I'm going to tell your mom who the winners are from our contest.
Dude, that's
soon.
right. We got to do that.
Yeah, let's talk about it, but let's sometime this week we'll end up announcing the contest.
Yes, more contests.
Yes, more contests. All right, guys. Until next time, trending stories are taking over. We can't stop them, so we might as well talk about them. We will see you on the next episode. Peace.